here, so we'll put this up on YouTube. Alright guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 6 of Shaggy TV. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm really sorry that it's so late. Actually, what happened that was really funny is some of my streaming software kind of messed up. I tried to do some fancy stuff, trying to make it look a little bit better, which I'll kind of get into a little bit later, but it actually ended up delaying the stream by like almost, well, actually 40 minutes or so. Messed up my stream key, which really messed stuff up. And then on top of that, I realized right when I almost went to go live that my webcam, I tried to take my webcam with us to Gen Con so I could actually film, like do videos, but it was impossible to do that because we got a hotel at like the La Quinta, which is like basically a Mexican rundown, like $20 a night hotel. So the problem was, you know, the internet wasn't good enough to visit Google, let alone try to stream. So I went down, I sat down, I was getting ready to stream. I was like, holy crap, I don't have a webcam. So I like run around my house trying to find my webcam. So sorry again, it took so long. I apologize, but we're here now, which is cool. Episode 6 of Shaggy TV. So last week we went to big old Gen Con and got a tons and tons and tons of Hex information. So before we really get into the meat and bones of this episode, I'm gonna do the old solid here. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? I gotta find you. All right, do it this way. Sorry guys, I actually didn't have a whole lot of time to get this ready. Okay, so real quick, what's new on the stream? We got the new schedule. I uploaded it yesterday. Basically, the only thing that's different on the stream is tomorrow I'll actually be playing WoW instead of SoulForge, and we'll get a little reason why that is during this episode. Actually, I have some bad things to tell you guys about SoulForge. The game's still okay, but there's after talking with a couple of the SoulForge guys at Gen Con, you know, there's a couple issues I have with the game, and I'll go over them in a bit. But I'm actually going to take this away and do some WoW arenas for you guys. And then we're going to do the Hex TCG Procast on Thursday, which, if everything still goes the way it's supposed to, we will have actually all of our people. So we'll have, it'll be me, Dusty, John Tata, and Sean. All four, everybody who went to Gen Con will actually be on that cast, and we'll be talking about all the stuff we saw there for Hex and things like that. So I'm not going to try to go into too much of the Gen Con stuff because I don't want to spoil that cast. And then Friday I'll be doing my new game Friday, which is Mark of the Ninja, which is a really cool game. For the it was actually came up Xbox Live first, I think, and now it's on Steam. So it's a really fun game, and I'll kind of show you guys that game. And then Saturday, actually, I don't have a stream thing on my schedule, but actually Saturday I'll be commentating a League of Legends tournament. So their local tournament asked me to come down and commentate for them, so I'll be doing that on Saturday. I think it's Saturday, but I'll update my schedule and let you guys know about that. And then moving on to the actual Hex TCG Pro page here, make sure you check out John Tata's write-up today. He actually did his Gen Con experience. He basically just talked about all the decks we got to play at the Hex event, or Hex League, or whatever it was called, and kind of told you guys like what he thought his favorite was, and like kind of talked about some of the card interactions and stuff. It's a really good article. If you haven't read it, you might want to check that out. Also, we do have our video up with our interview with Corey Jones, which is a lot of fun. The big complaint we've had with that is that you guys can't quite hear what he's saying. You know, sorry about that. You know, there's like 50,000 people at Gen Con, so obviously it's going to be a little hard to hear. We tried our best to get like good audio and stuff, but you can only move. There's not very many places where there's nobody at to take video. But I think he's going to transcribe it, and also we took like audio with one of our phones, which I think might be a little bit clearer, so we might have that up too. We're not really sure what we're going to do yet, but we're for sure going to have some sort of transcribe up for you guys to be able to at least read the interview. And then I think maybe tomorrow we're going to have the Dan Clark video up, which was a lot of fun. And we actually, since we did that video on Sunday, there wasn't very many people around, and that one's actually, you can actually hear it really well. So sorry about the couple hiccups, but that's what's kind of on store for you guys on HexTCGPro.com. I don't think I'm missing anything else. I hope not. Also, if you guys have any questions during this stream or Thursday, feel free to ask away. This is live for a reason, so I will do my best to answer your guys' questions. Hopefully I can remember which one seems. For sure. Cool. So that's kind of the deal. That's kind of what we did with the site or whatever. So cool. Before we get into the video, I do want to say thank you guys so much. Like, we went to the obviously, like, Thursday was the first day of the Hex League, and Cryptozoic had a little bit of trouble with the computers. I mean, they I guess kind of overestimated the amount of work and like how hard it is to get like 32 computers to work together. So because of that, they had they were supposed to open at like noon. I think they started opening up at like 5 or something like that. Like, they just had like I'm not gonna say terrible, but they had like a bunch of like little problem after little problem that kind of kept delaying the opening of the game, which was kind of sucked. But when they did eventually get it going, they rewarded us by doubling the tickets. But sorry, I might taking my shoes off here. So what was really cool that they did is they we all kind of had to wait in line. Everybody wanted to be like the first people up there to do it, so we all waited in line and kind of hung out. And what was really cool was like so many people kept recognizing us, like me and John. Like we had, I bet you, over the course of Gen Con, we probably had like 40 people walk up to us and like thank us for the videos and talk to us. And I got an interview with one of the people that that came up and talked to us, and it was a surreal experience. I just want to thank you guys so much. Like you guys will never know how much it means to me and John to have people like that walk up and let us know that what we're doing, people are actually seeing. Like when we put these videos up on YouTube, we'll get like 14 or 1500 hits, and like, that's obviously a lot, but you just see numbers, but when you go to conventions like that and you actually see the people walk up to you and talk to you, it's actually just surreal. Like, it's insane. Like, it was so cool. We had so much fun meeting different people and playing games, against them, and so I just really want to say thank you. You guys are awesome, every one of you. Sorry I had to crush you, but other than that, thank you guys seriously again so much. I cannot just explain how awesome it is to have you guys come up and talk to us. So really, this whole episode is just going to be about kind of what I saw at Hex at Gen Con. Not so much just for Hex, but what I saw at Gen Con altogether. And then I'm going to talk about the Bunnies deck. There was something really cool that happened with the Bunnies deck, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about that later. But I'm going to kind of talk about some of the new cards we got to see from the Bunnies deck. But anyway, so moving forward first, the first thing I'll talk to you guys kind of about is, I'll go ahead and pop it up here on the Facebook. I'm just going to jump right into the old Bunnies, and then I'll kind of preview the other stuff. Cool. Alright, so go to our website here and go to the Photos section. Photo? That's for me to share photos. I don't want to share no photos. Okay, we'll see. We'll start here at this one and go on. So I think you guys can see that probably pretty well. Yeah, not too bad. All right, so what it was is one of the shin-haired creatures. I think it was like Zumi, right? She has the ability that at the start of your turn, she'll create a random shin hair and put it into play. There was a couple of bugs with her or whatever, but me and Sean, one of the other writers for the website, was like, what would be fun? Let's do double bunnies and just let our Azumis or whatever just make as many copies of the creatures as they want to, and see if they make any like new creatures we haven't seen before. You know what I mean? Because like it is random, so like obviously they will probably have some of the bunnies kind of scripted into the game that aren't in the decks itself. So what happened is we ended up getting 5 bunnies that weren't in the deck, and a couple of them that actually has never been spoiled yet. So we took pictures with our cell phones and put them on the website, which is awesome. But I did want to kind of talk about them and kind of show some cool things that I guess. Kind of go over the cards, do a little overview of the cards. So the first card we saw was the Bolt Paw Wizard, which is a 5-drop 2 black threshold Shin-Hair Mage. So she has one active ability that says sacrifice a troop, revert target troop. So what this means is if you have actually real quick, okay, let me do this real quick. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so underprepared for this this video. Actually, more so than normal. Usually, I'm always underprepared, but for this video, I'm like super underprepared. I really apologize. All right, there we go. Okay, so the cool thing with this creature is that it kind of shows us the revert keyword, and everybody kind of knew that keyword was coming. Everybody knew that was like going to be a thing. I mean, Cryptozoic spoiled it, a while back, but we've never really seen it in action. We've never seen a creature with it or a spell with it. And so what revert does is if you give a creature like permanent +5/+5. So let's say you give a 1/1 creature permanent +5/+5. Obviously, it'll be a 6/6, right? And no matter what you do to that creature, if you bounce it or kill it or whatever, anytime it comes back into the field, it'll be a 6/6. Well, so what revert does is obviously make it so that it goes back to the 1/1. So this card, it also works with the Inner Conflict, the pacifism card, which target troop gets permanent, can't attack or block. Well, if you use this ability, you would actually revert it back to what it was, so it could continue going. So that's really cool. That's an awesome keyword. It's good that we finally see it. Obviously, we didn't get to play with it too much in the game because it wasn't in the deck, so we just were kind of trolling and trying to get as many different bunnies as we could. So, the keyword is good. Obviously, the creature is also a 2/2. I didn't say that. I'm glad someone just pointed that out to me. I didn't say it, but yeah, it is a 2/2, which is okay. I mean, a 5-mana 2/2 is, whatever. And then we see sacrifice a troop, target champion buries the top card of their deck. Obviously, this effect isn't the best, I don't think. There's not really a whole lot that we've seen so far that you can take advantage of it with, or there isn't a whole lot of, like, I think we might have seen one Reanimator card, which is, in black, so I guess if you were trying to do something like that, this card would be kind of an enabler to be able to maybe target yourself and bury cards out to reanimate, something like that. But the card's a 5-mana card, so, like, by that time, you could probably just cast whatever you're trying to, cheat into play. So there's that. If you might be trying to maybe do like a mill strategy with it, we haven't seen too many mill cards yet, which is basically if your opponent runs out of cards to draw, he loses. But one thing to think about this card is you can do it multiple times, so you can't just do it once. You can constantly sacrifice your troops and make them mill, which is kind of a weak effect. But I think that the big reason this card might see play is off the revert keyword. It's very, very powerful, and obviously I think you'll be using it more on your troops than you will your opponent's troop, but you have that ability to do so as well. So old Bolt Paw Wizard is pretty neat. Girl, let me get the chat pulled up here too, so in case you guys have any more questions. Okay. Moving on. We'll move on to the next card that we saw, which is the Cottontail Ronin, which is, I think this card might have got spoiled either at Gen Con or right before Gen Con. Basically, it's a 1-drop 0/1 Rage. It's actually Rage 1, we did check. You really can't tell on this card, but it is Rage 1. So, that effect is actually pretty powerful. It really fits into what Bunnies wants to do. They want to get their cards out, and they want to try to rush you down, and this card gets stronger by 1 every single time it attacks. So it's a 0/1 now. The first time it attacks, it'll get 1/1. Something to keep in mind about Rage is that it does affect when it goes to attack. So it's not like it comes in the first time you attack for 0, and then it becomes a 1/1. It's actually, when you go to attack, it becomes a 1/1, and then you deal 1 damage. So this card is actually a 1-drop 1/1 for 1. So the cost is fine, and then it comes with a Rage mechanic behind it, which is also very good. It's actually kind of the first Rage card we've seen Green have, which I kind of like that. I like that Cryptozoic isn't keeping certain, I mean, they are kind of keeping certain keywords, but like I like how they're spreading the keywords around a lot more to make to not make it so vanilla, kind of. If you kind of keep keywords color specific, what oftentimes happens is that certain keywords are just better than other keywords, so those colors just end up being better than the other colors. So if they kept Rage, for example, to just black and red like we've seen so far, what might happen is if Rage is the best keyword, then black and red are just automatically the best. So I like that they're spreading the keywords around and kind of giving them to the other colors in a way that makes it feel like they should be that way. This is obviously an aggro card. Rage is obviously an aggro keyword, so it's cool those fit together. So other than that, there's not too much to talk about him. He's very good. Rage is very, very good. We saw Thunderbird or whatever do very, very good in the blue tempo deck. It crushed faces. It's a very, very strong card. So I expect this card to be played a lot and kind of help the old bunnies out. So moving forward, we have this card, the Shinhir Highborn. When this troop dies, create a Battle Hopper and put it into play. 2 mana, 1 threshold, 1/1. So I actually really like this card because it's just basically card advantage. If you trade this card, if you play it out, maybe buff it with a Bucktooth Commander, it trades with one of your opponent's cards, and then it comes back and you get an 0/1, then you've actually got card advantage. You have the ability to try to 2-for-1 people, or maybe depending on how buff this card is, 3-for-1 or 2-for-1. Your opponent's creatures, and then still get a creature out of it. So that's really cool. I think cards like this are going to be played a lot in the kind of Shinhair deck. That's really what this card wants to do. That's why you have like Runts of the Litter, which is a 1 card that makes 3 creatures. This card's really going to be, the Shinhair deck is really an attrition deck. It's really trying to run you out of cards and really trade 1-for-1 and then just beat you in numbers. So this card is really plays into that, and it's cheap. It's only 2 mana. It actually has flexible threshold. It's just 1 black, so it's going to be easy to cast. I see no problems with this card. I really, really like it. I think it's one of the most exciting cards I've seen. because again, it's kind of one of those things that you really can't see happen too much in paper card games. It's a little bit more digital than the other Shin cards we've seen so far. So I like it a lot. It's really cool. It makes a Battle Hopper, which I'm pretty sure I just said there was an 0-1. The really cool thing though about Battle Hoppers is they do have a mana cost of 1. So if they do get bounced by like a Buccaneer or Time Ripple or whatever, you can just cast them back out for 1 mana. So unlike and Magic, where if you bounce a token, it dies. This actually goes back into your hand. You can just play it out again. So that's really, really cool, and I think a really, really thing to keep in mind about this card is no matter what, you're going to get 2 cards out of it. So cool. So moving on to the next card, Runeair Commander. This is a 4 mana, 2 green threshold, 0/0 that says this troop gets +1/+1 for each troop you control. Now, a couple things to keep in mind about this card is whenever we used it in the game, it actually bugged out and didn't work. Azumi had a bug to where any static effect keyword like this actually didn't work. So he would actually come into play, the +1/+1 wouldn't work, and he would just die instantly. So unless you had like buff tooth commanders or whatever in play, you didn't get an effect. So we didn't get to play with him too much. But like this game, for example, he would have been like a 14-14 or like a 20-20. So I mean, obviously those are like non-traditional games. That's not going to happen too often. But this card exactly plays into what the Shin deck wants to do. And another really cool thing about this card is if you notice it says for each troop you control, not Shin troop. So it could actually be splashed in maybe some other aggro decks. It has the ability to do it, but obviously it's going to be played mostly in the Shin deck. And in that deck, it's very easy to get 3 creatures, 2 creatures at 1 turn, sometimes 4 creatures depending on the turn. This is a 4-cost creature, so I think it's almost perfectly costed. That's about the time that you can play a 1-drop, play Runs to the Litter, play a drop, maybe 1 or 2 drops, 1 or 2 cards on turn 3, and then turn 4, this guy's like a 5/5, 6/6. That's not uncommon, especially with the hero power of making an 0-1 Battle Hopper for 3 mana. It's not going to be too hard to get this creature to at least a 3/3, with the ability to be pumped more before it attacks the next turn. So I think this card is very, very good, and I can see it being played a lot in the Shin deck. I'm really excited about this deck, and I really, really enjoy the card. Plus, he's a samurai, which is really cool. So I think this is the last card that we previewed, or that we found with the Azumi, which is the 1-drop, 1 blood threshold Bloodbearer. When this or another troop you control dies, gain 1 health. So I know what John kind of compared this card to was Blood Artist. He was like, oh, this is very similar to Blood Artist. Obviously, the difference with Blood Artist is that Blood Artist, when a creature dies, you also deal damage to the opponent too. This creature actually only heals you, so it's not quite as good as Blood Artist. But the cool thing about this card is the Shin deck is really revolved around creatures dying. I mean, obviously you have a bunch of low-cost creatures. You have like the Cultist and the Mushwaki. Also, the Bolt Ball that we just saw that lets you sacrifice creatures. Hang on one second. My hair is like getting obliterated. It's so itchy. Which, by the way, I've had so many people walk up to me and be like, "Hey, Shaggy, what's up, man?" And I'd be like, "Hey, guys, how'd you know it was me?" And they're like, "Because you have hair in your face." And I'm like, "Cool. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much." So anyway, I could cut my hair. People wouldn't know who I was. So anyway, going back to the Bloodbearer. The Shin deck has tons of ways to basically sacrifice creatures or get rid of creatures. Not to mention that they have so many little creatures that it's really easy just to attack and sacrifice a creature to the blocks or whatever to get through for the damage. But what's really neat about the Bloodbearer is that it also kind of counters the oh crap, not Bitter Blossom, but the I'm gonna have to look at the card up now because I don't remember what it's called. The Bitter Blossom S card. What is it called? xtcg.com. Oh my gosh, what is this card called? Gen Con Dex, where you at? Probably should have had this up. Is this Wretched? Yeah, Wretched Brood, that's it. Okay, so for example, this card. It's a 3-drop, 2-drop. You guys, a 3-drop, 2 blood threshold. At the start of your turn, lose 1 health and create a Battle Hopper and put it into play. So that's a very strong effect, and like Magic had a card similar to it called Bitter Blossom that made a 1/1, which is obviously better. But I think Bitter Blossom made you lose 2 life. But anyway, actually it might have just been 1 life, but it doesn't matter. The downside of this card is that it makes you lose 1 life. And also that it makes a 0/1 instead of a 1/1. the coolest thing about your Blood Bearer is that you have the ability to offset the 1 damage you're going to take every turn with a Blood Bearer by using cards like Necessary Sacrifice, which is a very good card for this deck. I'll show this guy to you too. Sacrifice a creature, draw 3 cards. Using things like that to basically counter the 1 life lost will make Wretched Brood a lot more playable. And this card itself isn't bad. It's a 1-drop for a 1/1 with an effect that isn't a downside. We don't see anything bad for it. It's not like that you get any negative effect for using this guy. So I can see this guy actually being a pretty viable card for the deck, and it also lets you race certain matchups too, because for just that little bit of life that you're getting every turn, it'll allow you to be able to maybe race other decks, race other aggro decks, and maybe get out of range a little bit quicker. I can see this even being a pretty good sideboard versus a sideboard card versus other decks too. So I'm pretty sure that's the only cards we saw. It is the only cards that we saw. Make sure though that you do check out some of our other pictures. We also have pictures on here of like the how the triggered abilities stack, which is really cool. Also some really weird people playing their musical instruments and whatnot. So I'm gonna switch this back over really quick. That's not right. Cool. So that's the different bunny cards that we kind of brought up. We found. I think Dan said that there was only 5 of them. Because we talked to him about it. He came over and saw that both me and Sean were both at 20 life and had like 60 creatures on the field and was like, "You guys trying to find some cards off of Zumi?" We're like, "Yeah," and he told us there's only like really 5 cards that we could find. So we ended up finding them all, which is really, really cool. I know some of the other websites have some of the cards up as well. So we actually ended up finding all the cards. We caught them all, I guess. So that was really fun. We actually ended up crashing that game because what happened was there's a card that's every time a creature dies, a Shinhair dies, it gets +1/+1. Well, like Azumi made Sean like 5 of them. So like whenever like one of our guys died, like 6 triggers went off, and that triggered another trigger. We had like literally like at one point like 20 triggers happen at once, and it just crashed the game. So we ended up crashing the game because of the Azumi bug. But we got like I said, a lot of cool preview cards, which is really neat. So moving on to Thursday. Thursday's a big day. Again, I don't want to use this whole video to talk too much about this stuff that we found at Gen Con. But one big thing that we did get from Corey was that we talked to him about like guilds, and one of our big problem is that we have a lot of friends who aren't as competitive at games as what we are. So what we're really worried about was like how that's going to affect our guild rating, right? So like if we have a guild of like 20 people and like 5 of them are really bad. Will that maybe bring our guild rating down? Or let's say there's a guild of like 6,000 people, right? And they all suck, like all 6,000 of them suck, but they just play like way more games than what we're able to because we only have like 20 people. Will they have a higher rating than what we do? And one thing that Corey told us about and kind of actually ended up revealing to us, it's the first time we've ever heard about it, was that they're actually going to do a team system. So what will happen is you'll have your guild, and then you can have 8 to 16-man teams of players that you choose. So you can be like, we have the A team, and it'll have all the good players in it. And we'll have the B team, you have the other pretty good players in it. And they'll have C team with like maybe the bad players in it or whatever. And then those teams actually get rating for your guild or whatever. So if you have the best 8 or 8, 12, 16-man team or whatever they decide the number is going to be, if you have the best one of those teams, then your guild will actually be like the best PvP guild. So that's really cool. We thought that was really neat, and we're super, super excited about it. I know John and Dusty have a lot of things to talk about that, so I don't want to go too much into it, but it is one of the coolest things that we kind of unveiled, I guess, during Gen Con, and one of the coolest things that we talked about. There really wasn't any cards that was spoiled or anything like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we really, anything real big that was spoiled. But yeah, that's really it. We had a couple other little things, but I don't really want to talk too much about them, again, because we're going to go super, super in detail Thursday. That cast is probably going to be pretty long, because there's going to be 4 of us. I know we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about what our favorite decks were. I have, a couple, we'll have 2 interviews to talk about. So we're pretty excited about that. Also, I know some people were asking before I left, and they wanted me to do it, and I did it. I actually stopped by the Stoneblade Entertainment booth and talked to the Soulforge guys. And I know before the game went live last week, I actually was super in the Soulforge. They had a thing on Steam where you can pay $20. You got all the cards for open beta, and you got to build decks and play. And, obviously I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep all the cards forever. That's, why it's called a beta. But it was really, really fun building decks. It was fun playing against people. And there was, one deck that was by far the best. But that was okay because the other decks were pretty fun to play. So, I did a couple streams. I know I did a ShaggyTv about it, and I was super, super pumped for it. And then the game actually came out, like, the day before we went to Gen Con. It was, like, that Wednesday or something. Actually, it was, like, Tuesday it came out. And we started playing it, and, like, I don't want to say Stoneblade has done a horrible job with the game, but, like, the pricing scheme for their cards are just ridiculous. They have, like, something that's, like, 40-some legendary cards. And, like, the legendaries are actually, like, almost impossible to open in packs. Like, I opened 20 packs and got, like, 2 legendaries. And, like, there's been people who's opened, like, 20 packs and got, like, no legendaries. And then, so the basic packs are actually, like, $5 a piece. They have, like, non-basic packs that are, like, you only get 3 cards. And they're, like, $2 a piece. And then they have legendary, fucking booster packs that are, like, $15 a piece. And you, for sure, get a legendary, but you still get, like, commons in it, which is like doesn't make any sense. So it's like something like we added it up. It was like you could spend like $100, not even get 10 like of the best packs of cards, and it's like almost impossible to get all the legendary cards. And like the legendary cards are unfortunately like extremely more powerful than all the other cards. Like one card like doesn't actually die. Like when it dies, it just comes back into play, and like it's like actually unkillable. And a lot of people are griefing about that card. There's like obviously all the dragons are legendary, so they're just absurd and they like destroy everything. And it's like very frustrating to try to play the game because you actually just get beat because some kid paid $500 or some kid got lucky and got a couple legendaries in his pack. So it's like very frustrating. And they haven't announced, they haven't put trading in the game yet. Because they haven't put trading into the game, try to do this. Because they haven't put trading in the game yet, there's like absolutely no way to actually like trade your friend's cards. So like there's like some commons that I don't even have a playset of. So it's like very frustrating. So when we stopped by the Stoneblade booth, I was talking to them, and I was like, it was like me and Dusty and John and Sean. We stopped by, we asked them a bunch of questions. Of course, the servers were lagging, and they're like, yeah, trading's coming at some point, and the pricing scheme is fine. Like the legendary decks are supposed to be not like the legendary packs are supposed to be like a novelty, and like we don't really think people are really gonna buy them, and they're just kind of for a joke, and like it's like they didn't take it serious. It's like you have games like Hex and Hearthstone right around the corner. I mean, Hearthstone, by the way, just went in the beta and is like blowing up everywhere. And like you guys are saying that you have like a $15 pack as a joke pack, like it's almost unacceptable the way they have treated that game. And like it actually ruined it for me. Like I don't even want to play it anymore. Like I've logged on and done like my dailies because like you can do like daily rewards, which they say you can get all the cards by doing daily rewards, but really what they mean is if you do all your daily rewards for like 6 years, you might get a legendary card. Like anyway, like you do your daily rewards, you get like a booster pack for like logging in, you get a booster pack for playing 3 games, and you get like a booster pack for like winning a game that day or something. But like you don't get like the booster packs, you get like the minor booster packs. Let me give you 3 cards, and like they're oh yeah, it is for sure like bullshit. Thank you, Justin. But like it's just very, very hard to like get an actual like deck going that makes sense. So like I don't think that Stoneblade Entertainment actually understands like that these other 2 card games that are right around the horizon here are actually going to crush them. I mean, Hearthstone you can draft for $1.99. Like you can even buy a pack of cards on Stoneforge for $1.99. So like I don't know, they definitely have some work to do. I mean, like, the game is amazing. The game is a lot of fun to play, but they have to work on their pricing because the way it is now, like, no one is going to play that game long term. So I was really hoping that I can go get some awesome information from them and bring you guys back some, like, spoiler cards or some information about how they're going to change some stuff. And the only thing they really talked about was their drafting system, which might actually fix the problem, but it's not going to be out for just a little bit. Basically, it's similar to the Hearthstone drafting system that whenever you start the game off, there'll be 4 cards that pop up. And all 4 of these cards will be legendaries and heroics, so that's a good thing. And then you'll pick 2 of the cards, and whatever colors of those 2 cards you pick, all your other cards and like the rest of the picks you have will be that color. So like if you pick like a white and a red card, right? The next like screen that will pop up will be 4 more cards, and there will only be white and red cards. And you'll pick one of those cards, and it'll go to the next one. It'll be 4 cards. You'll pick one of those, and it'll go to the next screen until you build your deck. And you get to keep all the cards that you get. So that means, like, no matter what happens, like, no matter how much or ever how many cards you get or whatever, you will be able to keep the cards. So you're almost guaranteed like at least one legendary from that. And they said the pricing scheme is going to be about $7 to enter. So that's like actually something that might save the game, but it's not going to be for a while. Like they actually seem like they have to do like tournaments first and training first. So it's actually like the third thing on their list, or like actually maybe fourth thing on their list. So like they're still a little ways down the line from maybe fixing the problem they have. So that's kind of the next thing that I brought from Hex. I brought from Gen Con for you guys. Unfortunately, I don't have better the news than that. The third and final thing I want to talk about today before I get off here is that Hearthstone just went into beta. If you're lucky enough to get a key, you are awesome, and please let me know how it is. But I've been watching a lot of streamers and stuff. I know people are saying beta keys are selling for like $400. Some people are saying they're selling for like $1,000. I mean, it is absurd how much money that these beta keys are selling for. But the game actually looks absurd. It looks like so much fun. I know before Hex came out, actually me and John were like super excited for Hearthstone. And then we saw Hex, which I actually think is going to be a better game. I've actually played Hex. I haven't played Hearthstone, so I really can't make that decision. But I actually think Hex is going to be a lot more serious. Blizzard's announced that Hearthstone's a more casual game. They're not going to have like tournaments and stuff like that. But Hex, Hex is going to be more of like a competitive game. That's why they kind of take that magic approach to the game. But anyway, Hearthstone looks really, really good. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out on Twitch. I know there's like Wreckful and Chaox and I think Soda Pop, Salus is streaming it. I think actually like, Blizzard went around and just gave like all the top streamers on different games just like a count. They're like, here's a beta key, go try it out. I know that Snuts just got a beta key. Like he actually didn't get a beta key, and he like complained. It was like, why did I get a beta key? They actually just gave him one. They're like, here you go, Snuts. Like that's Warlock in the fucking NA. Like you can have a beta key. So there's all kinds of people streaming it. I know like the last couple days it's been like number 1, number 2, or number 3 on the Twitch ratings. So go check that game out. As soon as I get a beta key, I'll definitely be streaming that and give you an idea of what it's like. But those are the things for you guys to check out. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the show. Sorry again that the video was so late. I apologize, guys. I'm so sorry. I was kind of behind on the old the Gen Con stuff, trying to get everything set up. Been working a whole lot on the site, trying to get stuff going. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, guys, I cannot thank you enough. Like all you guys walking up to me and telling me how much you guys like the videos at Gen Con just really meant so much. Like I cannot say enough how much that meant to me. So guys, please, 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 please leave me comments, suggestions, emails, anything you guys can, and I will do whatever I can to make this stream better and make it something that you guys want to watch. So again, from the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you so much for watching. Guys, everyone in the channel, thank you for watching this episode. I am sorry again that it is so late and that I started at 9:30 and not 9, like a giant noob, like the old John Tata. But also, please check us out Thursday. I'll be streaming tomorrow at 3. I'll be streaming WoW Arenas 2s. I'm actually trying to learn some arenas, so I think I'll be playing my Rogue tomorrow or something like that. So I'll be doing 2s tomorrow, so please check that out. And then Thursday we'll be doing our Hex TCG Procast. Friday I'll be doing New Game Friday, doing Mark and the Ninja, and then Saturday I'll be doing the League of Legends tournament at a local gaming store here in Morgantown. So please check it out. Hopefully we'll have tons of content for you guys. Also, don't forget that during the Hex TCG Procast, which is Thursday, I will link this on Facebook like right now. We will be giving away a Merc from Gen Con. I'll actually show you guys the Merc right now because we took pictures of him. But let me find it for you. I'm trying to think. Here he is right here. He's like the Bard type hero that they announced. You can check out all the different moves and stuff he gets here. But we'll be giving this away Thursday during our stream. Basically, you have to be a follower and you have to be in the chat room. I'll actually, again, get the dust here, have somebody make a post about this. We'll have this all posted up tomorrow. But you have to be in the chat room and you have to be a follower for the site. That's all you have to do. Other than that, just be there and we'll do a random rolling and we'll give one away. So we have plenty of those stuff to give away. We have all kinds of stuff we got for you guys. We got like extra sleeves, we got extra promos. So please, please, please check us out. Keep checking back for the website and we'll find all kinds of cool ways to give them away for you guys. So I think that's it. If anybody has any questions in chat, I don't think they do. Cool. Alright guys, well thank you so much again for stopping by. I'll have this up on YouTube tomorrow. Also check out our Dan Clark video, which will be up tomorrow as well. Thanks to you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.